There's this great Sunny V2 video about DaBaby. I don't know what the thumbnail is now, but the old thumbnail was a picture of DaBaby, and the text in the thumbnail was just never respond. I printed that out at one point with my dad's printer, and I had it on my wall because I wanted to remember it. There's tweets every week calling for my death, saying like a gif of Michael Jordan dunking or like someone popping champagne like me when Turkey Tom dies at 21 years old. I just started to laugh at it and ignore it because it is genuinely funny. So, Art Chad, you wanted to have a little bit of a chat, a little bit of a talk, a little bit of a conversation, right?
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the business side of things. I think it's good to talk about these things. Good to get it on the table.
Let's talk business. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm at a point in my channel where it's there's a lot of directions I could go. And I was listening to you on Destiny, and I was on the Destiny podcast talk about your strategy, how you kind of maintain growth. But that was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm down to share whatever insight I can, or just talk about stuff. What kind of crossroads do you feel like you're at with your channel right now?
I feel like I just hit 70K, and that a lot of it came really fast. And I'm like, do I have the clout? Make longer videos and disappear for like 6 weeks to 2 months and then come back with a long video, or should I stop and make like weekly content? It's I don't know, it's very...
How long does it take to make you a video right now, and what's like the average viewership you're getting on them?
It's up in the air. I feel like I'm probably like 3 weeks on a video, maybe like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to shave off any time I can on that right now. Writing's how long do you spend writing?
Well, I'm not always the one writing is the thing. I pay writers sometimes, often actually. So how much time do I actually spend writing? I probably write. I mean, I write every video on my second channel when they're written. Obviously, I have to record those and everything. On the main channel, I probably write one a month, I would say.
One a month?
Yeah. And those, usually the ones I pick to do on the main channel is stuff I'm super knowledgeable about. So like, it kind of writes itself. Like I can get it done in a couple of days if I lock in,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I pay people to help me write my videos, which for you, I would assume would be more difficult for you to do. But you can correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, it just seems like it would be more difficult for you to do, especially when you have a smaller channel. I think building the brand and establishing like what your voice is something that takes time to do before you can like try to teach other people to, kind of understand that. Cause that's always been one of my like biggest gripes with like sometimes when I like have a writer work with me for the first time, it's like it doesn't sound like me, or it's not like to the level of detail or like that I would want. And finding a good writer is like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like it's so difficult to find people who are good at writing.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Like I really wouldn't. I don't know who I would trust to.
How much time does your editing take?
Editing takes a while. I feel like probably like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. If I lock in and I'm like 8-hour days, 7 days a week, I can do it in a week.
Really? How long are your videos? Sorry, I haven't watched a lot of your videos. I mostly know you because you're friends with Chris. How long are your videos?
I watch one of your videos.
Oh yeah? Dope. It's my latest one was like 8 minutes, but I'm trying to work up to like that 20 minute mark is what I want to start hitting pretty consistently.
So why does it take so long to get these videos done?
The editing's crazy. Like that's what I mean. Right now I'm trying to find strategies to get the time up without having to sink more time into the production. Like
if I do a lot of like motion graphics and like After Effects stuff.
I'm all green screen. Like everything I do is yeah, like I'll do like a 15 minutes green screen. Like I feel like Nikki Jakey's a really good.
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good example of like my editing style is that stuff. So it's so graphic heavy that ends up taking a while. And then like especially with writing, I really want to get good quotes. I want to be pretty credible, pretty down to earth. So
yeah,
that's not something I really can cut corners on as far as
right.
As far as writing goes.
I wouldn't say you can ever cut corners on writing. The only thing you could do is hire someone who's as good as you at it, but I probably wouldn't do that at this point. I would say this one, I mean, it would probably make sense to hire an editor, right? So that while they're editing, you can be working on the next video, and you can get videos out, every, I don't know, who knows, 2 weeks instead of, one every 3 weeks or something like that,
Yeah.
And I feel like video editors are not that expensive for what you're asking for if the videos are... so what I pay for video edits is like for a 40-minute video edit, I pay $1,500. So you could probably get away with for an 8-minute video, much less than that. Obviously, yours might be a little more graphics intensive than mine, but and a little more like sort of retentive in terms of like how you're getting people to pay attention to what's going on. But I feel like you could still outsource some of the money that you're making from YouTube to that. Is YouTube your full-time job?
No, I still have a day job.
Oh, okay. Do you think it would make would it financially make sense to you to put some of the money you're making from YouTube back into it? Like, are you at a point where you could do that?
Yeah, it's getting close. I'm getting like, I'm pretty consistent with sponsorships at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely probably 2 months away, maybe a month away from getting to that point.
So I'll put it this way, and I'll get like specific about numbers. So the most money I ever made in a month off of YouTube when I was just working by myself and it was just me was like maybe like $20,000, like maybe $25,000. That was like the most I'd ever made in a month.
That from just AdSense?
Yeah, just AdSense, and that was just me working. That was just me. The most I've ever made from having people work for me, I think it was one of the Decembers. I think it was like 160 grand or something like that. And I never would have ever been able to get there if I hadn't hired people and then scaled it up. I mean, Hunk, who's in the call right now, he edits all my second channel videos, and I never would have been able to even run the second channel while running my other shit if I didn't have him, because the editing just takes so much time.
Yeah,
and
100%.
He basically has, you know, a full-time workload from editing, you know, my stupid commentary videos.
Damn. Yeah, no, the editing is crazy.
Yeah, and it's like there's, I guess the way that I would put it is like, because when I was going through the transition to like whether or not I wanted to do that kind of like where I pay people, I had a very big apprehension behind hiring anyone else, because I was like, well, I have to do it. Like, it has to be me. I had like this vision in my head of like, oh, well, YouTube is about like this idealistic thing where like one guy does every part of the process and it's all his creative vision. But I think a lot of that just kind of comes from ego. And I think that a more valuable thing is to recognize that with almost everything you do, not with everything, but with almost everything you do, you're not the only person who can do it. And there are other people who can do it as well, if not better than you. And editing is the first thing that makes sense to give up, because the writing is the foundation of the video. And if the channel is your voice and you really care about that, then I think you should maintain your writing thing as long as possible, unless you can find someone who can literally be duplicated, because a lot of what you say, I assume, is based on your opinion rather than like a historical, you know, or sort of like documentation of things. Like a lot of it is like how you feel. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I would.
So based on that, like, so for example, for like my Tom Dark channel, which is all my opinion, like I could never have someone write one of those videos because it's about what I have to say. It's a very opinionated channel. So that's something I could never give up. But on my main channel, a lot of it is like, it's like video essays where you're documenting like the history of someone. It's not a persuasive essay. It's more just like expository. It's explaining something, right? It's explaining the history of someone. And so from that perspective, like there are people who could do that as well as I can, but no one could be me. No one could have my opinions and explain them the way that I can, which is why I have to do every single thing on the Tom Dark channel, right? I have to do all of that. And so that's basically the advice I would give you is like, the editing, you can teach someone how to edit based on your personality. I showed the guy who's in this call, Hunk, I showed him like my editing style, and I was like, this is what I like to do. And then he got to the point where he was able to edit them himself, and then he like surpassed my editing ability on these particular videos.
Hey,
because,
thank you, man.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you do very well, you know. And the same is with my main channel editor. He was about on par as far as like technical ability with software when he started working for me. And at this point, I can't do half of what he does for my own videos because he's just had time to get better and focus on it. And it's very hard to be the best at everything when you're juggling multiple things. But if you pay someone to edit your videos, you can get way better at writing. And you can just dump all your time into that, and the videos will be better overall, I think. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Yeah, just outsource the editing.
Yeah, that's actually, I did that once, and I felt that you kind of, like you said, the ego, I don't know, like ego, just like selfishness. Like, I need to do it all myself.
Yeah.
So this is me, but
that will go away if you hire someone who's like really good. And I will say, like, it's difficult to find a good video editor, and I'm very fortunate because a lot of the applications I get are, so it's kind of difficult, but it can be done.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember when you put the job offering, for Tom Dark, you put a post in your community tab. And the first day you posted it, I was like, I'm not even going to apply. And then the second day, the following day, you're like, yeah, I only got applications from furries and Indian people. Can I please get other people to apply?
Bro, they were all just so bad. Like, if there was a great furry video editor, I would hire him in a second. But they were all so bad. They were all so bad. And then you emailed me and it was like, oh, wait, you can actually edit videos. So that's kind of what I was looking for. You'd be surprised how little people can edit a video and how little people can take instruction, bro. Oh my, like, so many people that like I've tried to work with, like I'll tell them to change something, or I'll be like, can we do this? And they're like, well, I thought it was better this way. And it's like, well, bro, it's for my YouTube channel. Like, can you just please like do what I'm paying you for? Like, it's not that big
exactly.
of a deal.
It's like an artsy thing, so they get like their emotions involved. It's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's fine to have like an artistic approach to like videos and stuff. And like, I think I'm at the point now where like I would take input from you or from like, you know, people who edit the main channel videos, because like I think they have valuable insights and they know how the channel works at this point. But like if somebody just started working for me, like, you're gonna try to tell me like it's a bad idea to do this thing that I've been doing for years and has made a bunch of money. Like what is wrong with you? But a lot of people just can't take instruction, and also getting things done in a timely manner and meeting deadlines is like such an, it seems like so basic, but it's such an insane expectation in my experience trying to hire video editors. Like, I don't know if I'm just only able to, if I've only tried to hire children or people who, once again, live in Bangladesh, but it's typically, I have a very hard time. So when you find, I use this analogy, it's like finding someone who can like edit video well is like finding like $1 million in a suitcase. It's like insane. Like it's
yeah. Yeah, one thing I will say, ArtChad, is like for like more of a short term kind of fix to your problem is that, yeah, maybe it might be sort of like out of your budget to be hiring an editor for every video. So like smaller things that I would probably focus on is like you said, like it's like a business, like really treating the channel like a business. And like with a graphic heavy video, it's really easy to get carried away doing like 1 5-second meme that takes like 4 hours to edit. So I guess my biggest advice would be like try to like trudge forward through the video and not like re-watch sections over and over. I'm like really guilty of that, where if I think something's funny, I'll watch it like 500 times, but then I've wasted an hour just like sitting there watching the same shit over and over again.
I do that a lot.
a big philosophy I think we've always had is just, because Hunk, I know you and I have talked a lot about this, is just like doing cool video edits is really important, but it's more important to be consistent. Especially on YouTube. And so it's like, if you actually watch the videos, because when did we start working together? Was it like a year ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah, January last year.
Okay, so when we started working together, like if you watch those old videos, like the editing is way worse than it is now. But the point is that like we weren't trying to make every single video the absolute best. It was like improving over time with the editing, to the point where now if you watch the video editing now versus then, it's completely unrecognizable. But it wasn't like every single video we were obsessing over, like, okay, we'll spend years editing this video. It was like, we're going to make this video the best we can within the time frame, and we're going to get it out, and then we're going to do the next one. And that's always kind of been the mentality. You kind of have to have like a blue collar approach to it. Sam Hyde has a lot of great advice on like art and getting things done that I've taken over the years, and I think a lot of other YouTube people have recently caught on to that. He always says treat it like a blue collar job. I think he got that from Vincent Gallo or some other director he likes. But basically, it's really important to treat art like a job, where like you set deadlines for yourself, you work a consistent schedule, and once you start making money, like if you're into any business, right? Like, which makes no mistake, YouTube is artistic. You know, I know you're ArtChad, but it is also a business. In any business, once you start making money, what do? You pay other people to do the skills that you don't want to spend time doing, so you can figure out more ways to make money, or you can make yourself, the whole business, more money. And like that's ultimately like just what I did with YouTube and what I feel like everyone should be doing, you know?
Yeah, I know. I think it's hard to, not hard, it's difficult to get into that mindset with, I think a lot of artists have this, you know, I went to art school and just so many people are just like shoot themselves in the foot constantly because they have this conception of art as this sacred thing. Art is this thing that's holier than everything else. It's so pure and can't be touched. And like creativity is something like that. But like, yeah, I like that Sam Hyde advice because every professional artist works like that. There's no professional artist who is just like this sort of genius savant. They're always, they're always just like, they're hard workers. They got shit out. They're productive. They're always producing stuff.
But yeah, I just think like David Fincher is one of my favorite directors, and if you listen to people's biggest complaints about him from inside the industry, they say he runs his film sets like a Nazi, which is just to say he's very orderly and he likes schedules and he likes the trains to run on time, which is really important when you're running a business, which is what his movies are. They're great pieces of art, but it's also like we got to get things done, and to get things done and to make great art, you have to like, you know, push yourself a little bit. And I mean, you don't want to get to the point where you're like having suicidal ideations over it, but like you need to, you know, treat it like a job. You got to work. You can't spend, you know, 2 hours a day working or whatever. Not that you do that, but you can't be, you know, lazy about it. And you can't be afraid to like make moves that will only benefit you just because of like some ego thing, you know?
Yeah. I know, especially with money too. Like I have a day job, and then I remember last like December 2023, I got a big fat YouTube check. Yeah. And then also I'm a bartender, so like that's the craziest time in the industry. And I remember like that month, I was like, I've never made that much money in 30 days. This is fucking insane. But it's like my first bag, and I just blew it on dumb shit, like going to nice restaurants and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so. But now I'm kind of realizing, like, oh, okay, you have to you have to put things aside and reinvest into the business.
Yeah, I feel like I got
Just
kind of
try
lucky
to-
that I like to eat like slop and I don't have taste in anything, so I just stack all my money because I don't even know what like designer clothes are. I don't know what like super nice food is apart from like the price tag. I just like to eat Burger King and play Fortnite all day. That's all I want to do.
The finest delicacy is a Zin.
Bro, that's true. It actually like I literally would rather have a Zin than an expensive steak most days, to be honest with you. That's true.
Treat myself to a little Zin, actually.
Yeah, dude, I saw you had some
Thanks for
serious
reminding
frat
me.
boy swag the other day on your Instagram story. You look like a member of Nelk. It was sick.
Oh my god, my girlfriend's from Edmonton, Alberta, and the Oilers are in the playoffs, and she wanted to go see the game, but she's not like a hick at all. She's not even into hockey. She just wanted to go see it. So I like surprised her. I was like, oh, I dressed up to remind you of home in case you were homesick.
That's funny. Yeah, it was a good fit. You definitely pulled off the look. Isn't one of the Nelk guys is from there? I think, or is he from Toronto? Kyle Forbgard.
Yeah, he's from Ontario.
He is okay. Yeah, I thought so. He's probably from Brampton. Dirty piece of shit. No
I think he is. Yeah, it's not Toronto. It's like one of those suburbs.
Like a Richmond Hill.
No,
Jesus.
bro's from somewhere super f***ed up. Yeah, bro is not from Ancaster, but yeah, I think just trying to think like how do you get your business to the next level in terms of YouTube is always an important thing, and like some part of that is kind of like strategizing and thinking about the direction of where you want to be, and also just think about it this way: like if you didn't have your day job and because you could just pay all the bills full time with YouTube. Think about how much more art you could make and how much more, money you could make from that. And then how many more people you could hire to make more stuff. Like, it's kind of like exponential variables, like the more time you have, like if you can pay someone to save you time, like I feel like you should always do that because time is so finite and it's so important. And it's like the biggest obstacle to getting things done is just sitting in a room and laboring away. Sorry, what were you going to say?
My cousin built a whole software company, and I remember I went to go see him. He lived in Montreal at the time, and he was opening his 18th office in Norway. Like this business is huge, but he was the lowest paid member of the company. He paid himself like 40K Canadian a year was his salary because he was just so dedicated to like saving the money to like keep the business growing that he was living in a bachelor apartment even though like the company was worth $20-30 million.
That's pretty sick.
The dedication was insane, but it's definitely the way to go at this point, too. Once you, I feel like everyone kind of realizes, like, you get your first initial success, and then you realize, like, oh, this is a very long game. This is not, like, a one and done, now I'm just an established YouTuber, and now I'm just kind of, like, now I'm set. Like, it's such a marathon.
There's enough YouTubers now that, like, because, like, back in the day when you started out, when YouTube started out, rather, it was, like, you have a video go viral, and then you're Smosh, right? And then you just are a thing. And that's not how it is anymore. There's too many people. There's too many YouTubers to watch. There's too many people watching YouTube. You can't do that anymore. You have to be consistent. And if you're not consistent at any point, it's very likely you'll fall. You'll fall off, basically. And if you come back, people might not even watch you. So it really is like a business thing to compete for people's attention. Or sorry, it really is a competitive thing to like make sure that the attention is on you. Once again, 48 laws of power. Make sure all eyes are on you. There you go, buddy. Fire.
I know, we're really in this sort of, I don't know what to call it, like post-truth YouTube. The fact that you can find a channel now that gets, like a 1 million sub channel that you've never heard of before, has 5 videos in a row that got 1 million, 2 million views, and then their next video gets like 20K. Like, have you seen that? You've seen channels with that kind of track record? It's weird. Like, there's
honestly,
no one.
That seems insane to me. Did the video get like super age restricted, like into the ground, or are they like more inconsistent than that? Because I've never seen a channel like that.
I've seen a few like that. I've seen a few like, especially video essay channels pop up where there's no audience commitment. Like they don't actually have an audience.
I've seen some
Mine
of that.
gets by that, yeah. I've said that a couple of times.
You've had that a couple of times? Well, you haven't had like you haven't had 5 in a row that got 1 million views and then get one with 20. You'll have like
one with
50 and one with a few 100,000.
I'll have a few that get like 100K, 200K, 300K, and then one will just tank and get like 20K. And that might just because of the ideas I choose, to be fair. So
in fairness, your channel is like you have like 100K subs, right?
7, like almost 80K.
Yeah, okay. So that's not that bad considering, all things considered. It's not like if you were getting like 1,000 views, it would be like, okay, we need to get you on life support,
Yeah, it sounds the same as me, like same channel size, same sort of like I had a video, like 2 months ago, got like 400K views. and then like 100K. And then I had a video that like 20K. Like it just vary all over the place.
I think a lot of it is like the consistency thing is important because you're building an expectation that you're going to provide content for people to watch. And like the expectation can be like limiting if you let it be, but if like you see a video do well, I think rather than thinking about how can I make a video about the same topic because then I'll like milk it and I'll get views again, you should be thinking about like why did it do well for everything outside of the topic itself, and like how can I do a video on another topic where it has like a similar level of execution that people really like that it will do well, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the dream.
Yeah, like Emp Lemon, he does this really well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like. See, yeah, you want that audience that's going to be like, I want to see what this person has to say. Like, I don't give a what they talk about.
Right.
Like, you know, Exerbia.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, same type of thing.
Yeah.
How do you see like how do you see yourself evolving in the next few years? Do you think about this, or are you just kind of set on like what you're doing right now is working and you don't want to scale that up?
I definitely want to scale it up. I'm definitely a big proponent of the get out while it's still good mentality, where you don't want to do the same thing forever and become stale. I think a lot of what I want to do is these like more ambitious IRL documentaries. I need to figure out how to do them better because I've only done a few and I haven't figured out how to master the pacing and everything and editing. But I think doing more of that stuff where I'm getting involved in a story and meeting weird people, I think has been personally interesting to me. But I also think some of my favorite, most memorable videos I've seen on YouTube in the last few years have been that kind of like in-person, on-the-ground documentary where you're doing a profile piece about someone rather than talking about their Kiwi Farms thread, you know? So I would like to do more of that. I think in my mind that's kind of the next thing, but it takes a little bit of time. As far as my second channel, I aim to be the biggest daily commentary channel in the world, and I know it's kind of it sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but that is definitely my plan to do, and I think I will achieve it within a few years. But yeah, for the main channel, definitely getting more ambitious with like the scope of what I want to do and the execution is what I would like to be, because I don't want to be. I like Sunny V2, I like what he does, but I wouldn't want to be in the same position forever. You know, I don't want to be in the same position forever. I'd like to be creatively fulfilled in what I'm doing, and at this point, my second channel makes enough money that I can like pay all the bills and everything, and you know, it kind of. Because I have editors, like it's not like I have to spend like all day on it. Like I can realistically, if I wanted to, I guess probably spend 2 hours a day on it to get a video out, and I'll be fine. So at that point, it's like I would like to be more ambitious with what I do on my main channel, you know. So yeah, definitely. I don't know exactly where it's going to be. I probably need to develop a more clear game plan, but I do have kind of a vision of the kind of thing I want to do and like the emotion I feel from the video that I would like to have. Yeah.
Does Sunny V2 still pull huge numbers? Is he still super consistent?
Yeah, he does pretty well.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
Every video he's getting, I'd say minimum around 2 million views, which is pretty good doing weekly, you know?
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, he does well. And he has been, he's somewhat forward thinking too, where he's expanded from just like the rise and fall of ex-YouTuber to doing videos about like celebrities and like culture and like list videos. Like he, you know, you can, I guess in the sense of like art, you can say it's not the most like ambitious thing in the world, but in terms of like making a good product that people want to see, he's definitely figured out how to evolve. And I think there's a lot to be learned from him that some people I think kind of cast doubt on because they're like, oh, well, he makes videos for normies, or they're not that in depth, you know. He has something to him.
Yeah, I mean, most people are normies. You gotta make stuff for normies.
Game is game, my friend. Game is game, and he has.
I remember was out with dinner for, you know, like CJ the X. You ever heard of it?
Not JX. Different guy.
CJ the X. It's like long, like hour long. He's someone who's like every 6 months, but the videos always like he's got major clout. Like every video he posts gets 1 million views.
Yeah, so he has kind of an H-bomber guy Riz, I see.
Yeah, and he was saying never disrespect the monoculture. Like don't think that, you know, what most people like is bad because most people like it. Like if most people like something or want to watch something, it's probably has some merit to it.
Yeah,
I definitely subscribe to that. Like
totally
especially
agree.
where like if I'm like getting into, you know, if I'm doing a video about like niche philosophy or I'm quoting like niche authors. There's that, like, especially coming from university and academia, I was like in a master's program. Like, I want to just jack off and make, like, you know, intellectual cum about how niche and abstract can I get in philosophy. But at the end of the day, like, I want to make stuff for the layman. I want to make stuff that people are going to watch and actually, like, take something away from, rather than just have a thousand people be like, oh, wow, you read that book that 1,000 people have read? That's so cool, you know?
That kind of, like, incestuous, like, pretentious thing to art is so ego driven too. It's like I'm better than you because I know the most obscure thing. It's like with music taste, like these two, there's like this phenomenon I've noticed where like I listen to like a lot of metal, and a lot of metalheads are like pop music, you know. I hate pop music, it's not real music, and like that's such a way to view the world. It's very corny, but You know, usually people grow out of that by the time they hit, I don't know, 22, but some of them are stuck in that forever, unfortunately.
Yeah, seriously. It was like baffling coming from arts. Like once I got out of art school, it's like I left a simulation, and I was like, oh wow, this is what it was like. I had to relearn how reality worked.
Yes.
Because the way it works then in art school is just so idiosyncratic and so insular, and it just does not actually like. I got like super depressed actually. I was like, when I dropped out of my master's program, and like that month, 2 month, 3 month period, I was like completely existential on life. Because I was like, oh god, like I've wasted 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, just digging myself into a hole that doesn't go anywhere.
I think what you could do is you could take the skills you learned from art school and like the, you know, technical knowledge you have and just apply that to like kind of a business mindset, because the only artists that succeed are people who treat it like a business generally, you know. A lot of the great artists you remember from the past were miserable, broke people that nobody cares about anymore. And it's like, well, their art had a great impact. I guess that's cool if that's the only thing you care about. But for the majority of people who do that, their art doesn't have a great impact because it's not that good, because they're not really trying. Only like the, you know, genius IQ savants really make it. And even then, some of them, you know, don't do that well. And they wanted to kill themselves their entire lives. Some of them did. What's his YouTube? It's Art Chat.
Yeah, no, I know. It's I think that's the other thing too. Is like we look up to these people who off themselves. We look up to these people who are like depressed drug addicts who killed themselves, and like those are our heroes. That's every artist's hero. It's really weird. It really is just, I don't know. It's like optics.
Artists are like, the mentality of an artist is such a punishing one. Like it's, to quote Gokanaru, it's like, it's so resentful. Like most artists are so, they're so jealous, they're so pretentious, they're so self-entitled. I find it very, very cringe, and that's why I hate a lot of the art community on Twitter, because they very much embody that, like the I deserve more than you type thing, because I'm me and because I make the best thing.
No, absolutely. Do you know who Rick Owens is?
I know the name.
He's a designer. He clothing brand. It's really big in like the Opium Gang. Blade fans are really into it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know who Blade is, unfortunately. Yeah.
He's got the same kind of philosophy, because he's like easily the biggest. I say not the biggest designer in like on the same level as like Gucci or something, but like has the most clout, has the most impact, and like the highest respect. But he totally treats it like a business. He's just about like output, experimenting, and like putting that first, because it's like the art exists in the context of the business. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the art doesn't exist without the business having a good foundation.
I mean, if you're gonna spend this much time on something, why wouldn't you try to make some money out of it? You know?
Yeah, I know. It's
ridiculous.
Do people ever try to pigeonhole you politically? Like they keep trying to like expect what you're gonna say next based on what they think your politics are?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, there's definitely like within my audience, there's a portion of people that want me to be farther right, and then outside of it, there's a portion that think I'm too far right or am very far right. I generally don't really care about partisan politics or have any real opinion on most of the day-to-day, but you know, because I'm kind of like an edgy person and I'm willing to hang out with right-wingers, I think people just see me as a conservative person. And in my general lifestyle, I don't think there's very much conservative about me. Certainly from a policy perspective, I wouldn't be cool with most, especially socially conservative policies. But I think people just, you know, they see me a certain way. And, you know, to an extent, I also just, I like hate internet leftists because they have a lot of power right now and they're really cringe. So that's definitely part of why they see me that way. But I'm kind of fine with that, you know.
I know. I mean, yeah, I was watching Scared of the Dark? What's that channel? That, like,
In Praise of Shadows, yeah.
In Praise of Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just. I've tried to make a pretty I've tried to make a pretty strong effort to not like try to be right wing, but like definitely try to separate myself from left wing YouTube as much as I can. Like I'll make videos critiquing like corporate culture, critiquing capitalism, but I'll never go like far. I'll never go be like, oh, I'm like a Marxist or I'm like this, because it's like I'm not, and I don't want to be like I purposely use the word retard in all of my videos at least once as like a signal.
Right. Yeah, that's why I constantly have to remind my audience that I like to say the N-word, because I don't want to accumulate an audience of people who will get mad at me for that, you know? Like I don't want to face audience capture. And it's not even that I like care about saying it that much, but it's just like I don't think it's that bad, and I think it's funny. So sometimes I'm going to. And I would hate to accumulate an audience of people who then like turn on me because they're like, "Wait, I found out that he's edgy," you know? It's like I can't deal with that kind of thing, you know? It's a huge, I think, stopping point of a lot of channels. And then a lot of the problem is like once people have that kind of audience and they realize they're dissimilar to them, they feel like they have to play into it to maintain their business, which is a really bad thing long term. You don't want to suffer from audience capture in that way. A lot of right wingers have this problem, not in YouTube, but more at like a greater scale, like the Petersons of the world, people like that. I think some of them are more delusional about what they believe as well.
I know I've talked with Gokanaru a lot. It's like he's my in to the drama stuff. I don't really follow it like peripherally, and he'll always give me the rundown on shit when we're working together at the studio. And it's like it always seems like the biggest thing people get canceled for is just unmet expectations. Is the best way to chalk it up. Like it's these Minecraft YouTubers who everyone thought they were like a cozy soft boy, and then they yelled at their girlfriend once and they got canceled for it.
What you really don't want to do is like you don't want to make content for a certain kind of person, right? Because if you do that, then there's like certain beliefs that come along with that if you betray that in any way, they'll instantly hate you. You really don't want to have that kind of thing. Like Danny Gonzalez recently, one of the bigger commentary channels, he recently apologized to his audience for drinking Starbucks in a video because they don't even support Israel, but the audience thinks that they support Israel. And he apologized for drinking coffee. And like I would hate to be in a position like that where I'm so scared of my audience. I feel like I need to apologize for drinking coffee. Like I will never do that. Yeah. That's a dark place to be, I think. But that does happen to right-wing people too. It's just on YouTube we see a lot more left-leaning people because it's like socially advantageous online at the moment, but it happens on both sides, you know.
Yeah, definitely apologizing it's like the biggest sin. It's the worst career move you can make right now. There's this great Sunny V2 video about DaBaby, and I don't know what the thumbnail is now, but the old thumbnail was a picture of DaBaby, and the title was, or the text in the thumbnail was just "Never respond." And I like printed that out at one point with my dad's printer, and I had it on my wall because I wanted to remember it. But yeah, like genuinely, like I think a lot of people are under the misconception that they have to explain themselves to their audience. And like some portion of the audience might get mad at you, but if you make a point, unless it's like a genuinely egregious thing where you really f***ed up, generally explaining yourself through your words is a bad idea. I think generally the best thing you can do is like show your intention through action. And I think that's one of the missteps that iDubbbz made, where he spent too much time trying to explain himself, and in the process he got rid of a lot of his audience.
Yapping.
Yeah, literally like the blood is yapping. It's that kind of meme.
Yeah, you gotta yap as little as possible.
People aren't following you for any reason other than they want to see your good content. And like when you cater to this small demographic that wants you to like play into their personal political beliefs, like you instantly just start losing ground in that way. And then the people that are just there for the good content want to leave, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, like you get like, you know, your channel that size and you're getting like 1 million views on a video and you get 70 comments, right? 70 people are mad at you. And then to you, it just optically looks like everyone hates you because you have 70 comments that are like, oh, I'm mad at you for this, right? So you feel like you have to do something about it, but it's like, yeah, you just shouldn't. It's just a bad move. It's going to hurt you in the long run.
Right.
Yeah, I remember like in the case of that Danny Gonzalez guy, like he got canceled a while ago. Well, I mean, quote unquote canceled because he said in one of his videos.
But he's Mexican. And, his name is Gonzalez.
Yeah, his last name is Gonzalez. He was quoting Jake Paul saying, oh, Jake Paul called those twins that were in Team 10. He called them. So it wasn't like he was actually saying it. He was literally quoting Jake Paul. And then he said the only reason that he issued this apology is because 4 years after the video came out, he got one email of somebody being like, hey, I can't believe you said, like, this is crazy.
I feel like these people have an anxiety disorder or something.
I think so too.
I don't have particularly like, I feel like I don't have particularly thick skin or anything, but like, I feel like most of these people would quit if they had to deal with half the shit I deal with. There's tweets every week calling for my death, saying like a gif of Michael Jordan dunking or like someone popping champagne, like me when Turkey Tom dies, 21 years old. Like, I just try to laugh at it and ignore it because it is genuinely funny. But it's also like, why would you let these get to your head? Like it doesn't matter. Like there's nothing. Even if you're white, you can say beaner in context. If you're calling a Mexican person a beaner, that's probably pretty bad because you're actually being racist against them. But like he was quoting Jake Paul calling him racist, and he ended up like apologizing for that. And now he's apologizing for drinking Starbucks. And like I said, like now he set the expectation where anything he does that can offend anyone, he's gonna have to apologize, which is crazy because this guy is a commentary channel who calls out and makes fun of other people. So I can't imagine what's gonna happen when he genuinely up if someone makes a criticism of him. He's going to cut himself or something, and it's going to be horrible. Like these people have no, I don't even know if they have, I don't know if it's conviction or, but like anything. Like it makes me wonder, like, do you actually believe anything? I don't know.
Yeah, no, you gotta shed that audience. It's like me and Greg talk about that a lot. It's just like it's almost refreshing when you like I'll post a video and within the first hour I'll lose like 50 subs and I'm like those are 50 subs I didn't want.
Right. You kind of just have to never accumulate them in the first place, ideally. But yeah, you will, unfortunately, like they'll come, you know, unfortunately, no matter what you do. I posted this tweet not that long ago that was like a meme saying that I would make a video about the problems with Palestine. And I just thought it would be a funny video. And then I noticed, I was checking my analytics a few days ago, and on that day, both of my channels lost subscribers, actually. My main channel gains enough subs every day that it wasn't like a actual net loss. Like the channel, like I basically every day the channel gains 1,000 subs, but that day it was like I gained 200 because like 800 people unsubscribed or something. And on my second channel, I think it actually lost like 50 subs because these people, to be clear, I don't give a fuck about Palestine or Israel. They saw that I made a meme and assumed that I was a Zionist because of that. And I kind of just looked at that as like, well, good riddance, because I don't want these people in my audience. I don't even know how they subscribed to me in the first place if they didn't understand that I like to f around. But yeah, like you don't want to deal with those people because the more you accumulate, the bigger it will be if it like all comes out at once, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Also, play Fortnite. Change all your videos to making Fortnite videos, please, instead of whatever you're doing right now. I feel like that would be better for your business. Just my thought.
I'd actually downloaded Fortnite and then I was.
Yo, turn up. Boy, turn the up. You better get a good skin. Get the Mr. B skin.
I haven't played it in like 2 years. I haven't played it in like, I think I played like 2017.
Yeah, that's when it was really big, I guess. I never played back then. I was like, this is a normie game. I'm not playing this. I am not playing this. But now it's Sigma, so I play it.
Yeah, it's like Minecraft. It's ascended fully.
Exactly, yeah. Well, now, like, if you play it, you're a high IQ individual, in my opinion, because you've stuck around long enough, you know. But 2017, you're a chud. If you play it then, you're a racist and a chud.
I don't have enough RAM in my brain to, like, play games and stream. Even, like, I can't even form a sentence while I'm also playing a game.
Oh, well, the key is just to be really bad. The key is to be really bad, but give people enough visual stimulation from walking around in the map that they don't really notice that much. So that's the way I do it. But I'm generally pretty horrible. Yeah, but it's whatever. Oh, and get fun.
Damn.
Just have like some stimulates. Just have some like stimulating spirals on the screen. It'll be all fine.
Can you put like Family Guy funny moments or like Subway Surfers?
Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? You can stick around if you want, but just like a specific topic or.
I think I have any more questions about the business side of stuff. Who do you look up to? What are your YouTubers that you're like, oh, this is a good model?
Like right now?
Yeah, or in the past, like who's inspired you?
As far as model, I don't know. I mean, people in the past that mostly inspired me were more like just I thought their videos were good. Like when I was younger, I liked a lot of commentary guys like, you know, Leafy, Pyrocynical, people like that. I don't really watch a lot of that stuff these days because I'm making so much of it. But as far as like models, I mean, you know, Sam Hyde is a pretty decent business model from what I can tell. Mr. Beast, actually, I like his like scaling process. And you talked about was it your friend or your brother who runs like a big company and he collects like 40 grand a year and lives in a shitty apartment?
Yeah, my cousin, yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Beast has kind of a very similar mentality where he basically just reinvests all his money into the business. He doesn't really buy things. And I think he said at one point he bought an i8 and then he sold it pretty much immediately and just bought like a normal car because he would rather just spend his life investing in the business and caring about the process. So I like that. As far as YouTubers that I really look forward to, like when they post, I mean, Gokanaru, whenever he posts once every 3 years, that's a pretty good event.
Yeah.
Let me think. I watch Wendigoon videos. They're good to listen to in the background. I watch a lot of Destiny. Big surprise. Willie Mac Show is a great commentary channel because he's more of a journalist. That he did a great series about Andrew Tate and all of his crimes. Now he's definitely guilty, so that was a great series. Apart from that, what else do I watch on YouTube? I feel like that's most of it. Let me think. There's some like people completely outside of the sort of like genre of stuff we do that I wouldn't even call YouTubers. Like who's that comedian guy who made it was called The Mask 2024. Is it Ryan O'Malley or something?
Oh, Connor O'Malley.
Yeah, that guy's videos are.
He's a genius. Have you seen? There's a deleted one called like Hudson Yards Simulator.
I haven't seen that.
It only exists in a re-upload. That's like one of the best pieces of comedy I've ever seen in my life.
I like the 5G cigarettes one. That one's really good.
Yeah. Criminally underrated.
He's genuinely really, really funny. So yeah, I like his stuff is really good. But yeah, that's about it. How about you? Who are you watching, looking up to, being like, this is Kino, YouTube Kino?
I feel like Nakey Jakey has always been a big one.
Yeah.
I just like the idea. When I started out, my whole goal is to do what he does, but just do it for like philosophy and culture rather than do it on video games, because his format is so good. He's so good at storytelling.
Yeah, I watched him when he was really blowing up. Like, I used to like his videos about, he did like a video about Halo, I think it was Halo 3, and that was genuinely a really good video. Or maybe it was Halo 2. I can't remember which one it was, but when he was like really starting out before the exercise ball era, I liked his stuff quite a bit. Yeah, I doubt that his stuff now is bad. I haven't kept up with it, but yeah, I remember when he was blowing up. I was one of the first. I was subscribed when he was under 30K. Okay, so turn the fuck up. I'm a real fan.
Damn. You know, he's in that great, he's in that golden spot of like a video every 3 months that gets 5 million views.
Yeah, he does really well. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good spot. Is that where you would like to be? Like, you like to just spend like months on a video and then it like does well and you make money from it?
Yeah, I feel like there's an inevitable, like, you know, it's every animal has a certain amount of heartbeats that it can, you know, has a certain amount of energy output it can have before it dies, right? And YouTubers are kind of the same way, where like I feel like if you're uploading every day for 2 years, if you don't evolve massively or you don't parlay that into something that else besides YouTube, you're going to fall off just out of people seeing you too much.
Maybe. It depends on the person. I mean, PewDiePie did like double uploads for like 4 years and was successful throughout that, and then he like changed, but he eventually did change up what he was doing. Like, he went from gaming stuff to like kind of parody stuff and like commentary videos, so he kind of evolved what he did with time. But I think the consistency you can do. I don't think being seen too much is a problem, but I think just like the personal creative output is usually affected. But I think there are people who can do that, like consistent, like everyday video output for a long time, and they seem fine at it. Like, I mean, like, look at these streamers like XQC and Asmongold. They consistently stream for like 12 hours a day for months on end, no breaks, and they're still going, and they're still getting a ton of views, you know?
Yeah, that's just insane.
I have a lot of respect for those guys. Since I started streaming, I have a lot of newfound respect for what they do. Just the output is insane. Not that streaming is harder than a normal job, but there is something to these people that just the amount of time they put in on their computer watching other people's videos, it really stacks up over time with consistency, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know that the Hassan being harder than a normal job is a stretch, but it definitely, it becomes blue collar. It becomes just arduous toil eventually. Even like when I stream once a week, and by the time I'm at 3 hours, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, that's how it was for me for a long time. I had to kind of edge myself into like being able to do longer streams. Like right now, even like I was streaming for a few seconds short of 8 hours, but it's the first time I've streamed in a few weeks. And prior to this few week period hiatus, I guess, I was streaming like 2-3 times a week, and then it felt way more. I felt way more capable of doing it. But now I kind of feel like I'm like going to the gym for the first time after a few weeks. It's like I'm a little rusty. It's a little sore. I kind of want to leave, you know. But I'm just trying to push through.
Yeah. Do you do good money off of a long stream? Is that like a big boost to your income, or is it just like?
So the donations are pretty good. Like, for the time, it is worth it. Like, this stream, I guess if you were to break it down, I'm making like $110 an hour, which is decent for stream donos. But then if you take that and all the content gets cut up and put onto other channels, and then that's where the real money's made, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think the way to make money, like a lot of money from donos, is you kind of have to be one of the bigger streamers or have like a really cult following or be really, really consistent with streaming. That's the way to make the serious money doing that. But part of why I like streaming so much is I can connect with the audience more, and I can like talk to them. Not that I've been talking to chat for half of the stream, but I can talk to chat more and see what they're thinking about live, and, you know, interact with them and like watch videos with them. It's a very loose format that I've come to appreciate a lot more as I've done it more. So yeah, I mean, I broke down the calculation of like how much money I would make if I was streaming like full time, if I was like getting the same viewership I'm getting right now, and I would make a lot less than I make right now. But I don't think I'd even mind it that much, honestly. I like streaming a lot. I don't think I'd have a lot of qualms about streaming every day, but I also like the other stuff I do, so I'm not really gonna do that, you know.
Yeah. Have you met XQC? Have you met a lot of these people?
No, I talked to XQC once, and he didn't like me because I kept talking about Despacito and Gangnam Style. So I did talk to him once on stream, which I thought he would like that. But I feel like the only real streamer I've really talked to that's at a high level is like Destiny. I don't think I really know any of them to a greater extent than that. I think. I mean, if I'm not remembering someone right now, I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't think so. That guy is such a case for like how important consistency is. because he's consistently in the spotlight, just like being talked about online, and he's been doing it for so long, like 15 years or something stupid like that. He technically he was the first full-time live streamer, believe it or not, so at least in the United States. So yeah, he's definitely a great case for how important consistency is to maintaining a career. You know, he's been doing it forever. He's still killing it.
No, he's got that fucking, you know, that watch he has, the rainbow dial Rolex Daytona.
Yeah,
it's like a 400. The one he showed Ethan Klein.
Oh, XQC. Yeah. That guy makes so much money.
A $400,000 watch.
Yeah, that was funny. I mean, he has like,
I got my house on my.
You got your house on my wrist.
What do you say?
Bitch.
Like I got your house on my wrist, bitch.
That was awesome. That was swag. I like when he like. I've come to appreciate being an asshole more. I think like rice gum flexing is so funny.
Yeah, I know. And he's from Laval, Quebec. He's from like outside of Montreal.
Is it like a shitty area? Is it like an inbred area, or what's the deal?
I wouldn't call it inbred. It's just a very like working class. Like it's just working class industrial. Like there's nothing special about that place at all. It's just such a random place to be from.
Well, that's just beautiful.
Like Montreal is one thing. 'Cause Montreal, like especially within Canada, being French Canadian, you're so like your audience is so limited. And then to be from not even be from like Montreal, to be from Laval is nuts. And to become the biggest streamer.
That's what's beautiful about it, right? You can be from anywhere, from any time, from any place on YouTube, and it doesn't really matter if you're consistent and funny, you'll blow up. Even if you can't speak
You don't
English.
even have to speak English. Yeah.
And your audience is
You're just
primarily
gibberish.
English. Yeah.
God damn. You ever think about buying a Rolex?
No, not really. I guess I don't really.
Never crossed your mind?
I kind of want to get a Bape hoodie. I thought about that.
Oh man, you gotta get the watch. Those things are sick. They hold their value. If you buy like a Rolex Submariner, you could basically buy it, wear it, and then sell it for what you bought it for. You're just transferring your wealth to a thing you wear.
I guess I just kind of don't care about any of that. I bought a house the other day, so I did that. I haven't done that.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Oh shit, you went through with it. That's fire.
I did, yeah, at long last. But no, I guess I don't really care about watches or anything. Like I said, I have no taste. I don't know what anything is. I don't know what Supreme or Gucci is. Balenciaga. All I know about Balenciaga is it's run by in Minecraft. That's all I know about that. Yeah. Do you want to buy a Rolex? Would that make you happy? Would it be good? Would it be swag?
Yeah, I think I have such a dumb perspective on wealth. I'm just the part of the world I'm from is just so tiny and poor that, especially when I moved to Toronto, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a nice apartment, floor to ceiling windows. I'm gonna make six figures. I'm gonna take girls out to cocktail lounges. I thought that's what life was. I was like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. But I've gotten out of that recently. Now that I've been here for a while, I'm like, oh, these people are miserable and they have no taste and they're.
I realized pretty quickly when I started making a little bit of money that like making purchases like that doesn't make you happy or really change your life in any meaningful way that is like good. And that was when I think like a year and a half ago or something, I sold my Subaru and I bought an Audi. I bought like a pretty new Audi with like low miles, and I was like, wow, this is so swag. And in my mind, it was like, once I have this is the peak. It's gonna be so awesome, right? And then I got it. And it was nice, and I still have it. And then after like a week, I was like, man. And I just kind of realized, like, I don't think any of these purchases will ever be very fulfilling for me long term. Like, it's just kind of like a thing in your mind that you fixate on for a little bit. And then once you have it, you're like, well, now my life didn't really change that much. Like, is my life experience really that much different from when I was driving the Subaru? And the answer is no. So, yeah, I don't know, purchases like that are kind of dumb. I mean, little lifestyle stuff like being able to shop at a nicer grocery store, like stuff like that is probably nice. I don't really do that, but that's probably nice. Or like, you know, not having to worry about bills. That's definitely a nice thing. But I think beyond that, most of that other stuff is just kind of, you know, it's like getting a new toy when you're a kid. It's like whatever, you know, a thing to pass the time for a couple seconds and then you're on to the next thing. So I think the best thing is to just focus on the day-to-day in life. I think that's the most important thing. Enjoying your day-to-day, which is ideally the work you're doing, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, so many people get caught up on, especially like young people. Like the last thing any of us need are monthly expenses. More monthly expenses to lose control of your income. Like you're gonna lease a car, you're gonna buy some shit on Amazon. You're gonna buy a Gucci tracksuit on Amazon and break it down into like 4 1-month payments. Like you're just f***ing yourself. Cut all that shit out of your life. Remove all your monthly payments.
Yeah, I think most people, if they got in that kind of position, would pretty quickly realize that I don't know if you're happier when you have, you know, less expensive luxury items, but you're not more happy just because you have them, you know. It's really just an ego thing, you know. People, because when you buy a Rolex, It's not really for you. It's like you want other people to see that you have that Rolex, you know?
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't function different than a normal watch, you know?
I mean, there's certain things, like there's certain things that have a good, like social signaling, and the return on that is pretty good. I guess it depends on the circles you run in. Like if you're a business guy or like you're around people where the norm is to have a Rolex, I think you should get one just for the practicality. But I know I have a video about this. It's like the Lamborghini Urus. I hate
that car.
I know, I hate that car. I made a whole video about it. I got like 400K views too.
I gotta watch that video because I need some camaraderie in how disgusting that car is.
Yeah, because it's like that's the ultimate like just like late capital, like neoliberal symbol of no taste, and all that matters is status. And
they made a like Honda CRV, but it's a Lamborghini. Like, wow. Cool. Yeah. Awesome, bro.
It's insane. It's the same platform as the Audi Q8 as well. It's just different paneling and like rainbow brakes.
I rented a Lamborghini Huracan Evo for a video I did, and the inside of it, like all of the parts were out of like an Audi, like my Audi, which is $40,000. Like, it was ridiculous. It was insane. It was just ridiculous. So, yeah, I think I think all that stuff is. A lot of those luxury cars, apart from Porsche, seemingly, a lot of them are just complete shit boxes, unfortunately.
It's depressing. I love when people go back and buy shit they wanted when they were a kid. I feel like that's the if you want to blow your money on shit, that's what you got to live up to. You got to make your like 5-year-old self happy.
That's literally why I bought the A4, because my dad had an A4 when I was like 10, and I thought it was the coolest car I'd ever been in. Like I couldn't even imagine a car being that cool, because he had like a Subaru Outback. And then it was just like the practical car, and then he bought an A4, and it was like clapped out and had all these issues. And then so I had a Subaru when I was like 20 or 19, I think. And then I was like, okay, well now I'll buy an Audi. And then I got it, and I was like, oh, now I'm just my dad, I guess. Well, geez. And my dad eventually, when that car, because he bought it with like 60,000 miles, it was already a shitbox because Audis break by the time he got it. After that, he just drove like my mom's old car, and he doesn't care anymore. And I think that's the thing a lot of people experience. It's not that swag, you know. Unless you have like $10 million, and then you have a lot of other problems that come with that.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's like, what was it? I was reading some Twitter thread about like single sentences, kind of like info hazard sentences that like change your perspective. And one of them was, the way you spend your day is how you live your life. And I was like, it's a good axiom to follow. Because if you spend your days chasing bullshit on the hedonic treadmill, never really feeling satisfied or never really feeling like you're doing anything important, just kind of like always like looking for the next thing, you're gonna be miserable.
Exactly. You need to edge yourself. You can't be gooning all day.
You cannot be gooning all day. I know.
If you goon all day, then it's never special, you know.
I know. It's not even gooning if you goon all day. It's just a regular Saturday.
Exactly. But if you edge, the goon is so much better when it happens. It's so much more fulfilling. The load is so much larger, you know. Oh my God, it's on my face. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, for real. On God, on Jah, and on God.
Oh, dope, bro. I'm gonna pop off. It was thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks.
Good chat. Lots to think about.
Yeah. Enjoy your A&W and whatever you guys are doing there. What else do you guys do?
Tim Hortons.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Oh, in Canada. We just lose our money in taxes. That's all we do over here. I was out filming in an alleyway, and I got attacked by a crackhead within like 2 seconds.
Yeah, bro. When I was living there, because I was living in like, I'd rather not say where it is, but you know, like the shittiest city in Ontario, you know it.
Yeah.
There were, every day I would wake up to go to the gym, and there would just be people smoking crack outside my apartment. I was like, oh, that's cool. Nice. Great.
Yeah, there's a lot of homeless people in Canada.
Do they just not do anything about them? Because I would see the cops smoking, like, not the cops smoking crack. I wish I saw that. The cops would see them smoking crack, and they would just be like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to drive away. You know?
No, I don't think, dude, outside my restaurant, there was people on the sidewalk.
Really?
I have a video of it. Both of them are butt naked, like completely naked. And it's like,
Jesus.
They're on the sidewalk. This is a main street off of like Yonge Street, downtown Toronto. It's not even like a bad neighborhood. It's just like in downtown Toronto. They get butt naked. She starts giving him. He's like standing up on the sidewalk with his hands on his hips, and she's giving him. And then she gets down on all fours. And he like preps her, and then starts her on the sidewalk.
That's fire, dude. God damn.
Yeah.
That guy's the GOAT. He's make it.
And then the cops pulled up, and the cop says that just tells them to stop. Because she already had like a crackhead in the back of her car and couldn't take them as well.
Oh my! You got to have like an American policy where we just gun these people down. I think that's the only solution.
Jesus.
You just gotta take them out, bro. Just smash that head through a plate glass window is what I say.
I think we should just carry like little BB guns. We just like if you see some delinquency, you see some degeneracy, just like light them up, where they're like, you know, they don't die. They're just like, maybe they think they won't do it again.
You should do like prankster stuff, like have like a slingshot with like, or like a fart bomb or something. You shoot at them.
Yeah. That's my next video: throwing eggs at crackheads.
That'd be fire. That'd be good.
Yeah,
To, like to TPing the homeless camp.
Yeah.
They'd probably use it. They'd probably be thankful. They'd be like, okay, I can wipe my ass finally. Jesus.
They wouldn't even bother.
They don't bother.
It's too much work to wipe their ass.
They go hand mode. They go primal.
Yeah. No, that's the. On a final note, I got to get to the U.S. That's the. As far as my next personal move, I got to be making USD, and I got to get out of the tax hell.
Don't you make USD if you're
I do now.
Because from YouTube you get USD, and doesn't that go a little farther over there?
Well, yeah, I get USD now. It goes a lot farther over here.
Yeah.
Like I think the Canadian dollar is 75 cents to American.
Yeah, but living in where you live is right. Like Ontario is really expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive, and then taxes. Like if based on my projected income this year, YouTube will pay my taxes. Yeah. That's the bracket I enter. Like it's just so depressing, and we don't get anything back from it. Like even if you go to the free healthcare you get is like waiting in, a 2-year wait.
The wait lists are insane. Yeah, they're like ridiculous.
Yeah, 2-year wait list to get a kidney out that you need out in like a month, or like every time you go to the ER, unless you're dying, if you go to the ER, you're waiting for 24 hours. Like I've sat in an ER for 24 hours before.
Yeah, that's brutal. I think we definitely have a less aggressive tax bracket here. I think the highest you pay in the United States, I think, unless you're making over like $20 million a year, I think the highest tax bracket is like 35%, which is a lot, but I think compared to Canada, it's probably not that bad.
Yeah, what state are you in?
Maine.
You're in Maine.
I'm talking about federal taxes, but yeah.
I know it's probably better in even like our federal plus provincial is really bad. It'd be nice to get to like Texas where there's like no income tax up to like 100,000, something like that. There's no property tax.
Yeah, I think Texas just has no income tax in general, actually.
It's awesome. Everything's cheaper too.
Yeah, Texas is. I think if I didn't live where I live, I would live in like Texas, like San Antonio. It's pretty cool down there. Have you ever been to Texas?
No. I haven't been to the States in a long time. I'm going to VidCon at the end of June with Greg and CJ the X, and I think probably in the winter I'm going to try to make it down to Texas to like escape the winter here, and then hopefully if I can find some way to immigrate to the U.S., I would take it. It's not worth it. It's not worth starting a business. Like there's also Ontario just added increased the capital gains tax, so it's like 67% on capital gains is taxed. Like they just want any business here.
Yeah.
Like the second you're doing good, like slightly, like middle class doesn't even cut it here, but the second you're doing anything like close to good, they just you. So it's not worth it.
Yeah,
I love Canada.
Getting out of Canada is a good idea. I would agree. For sure. Also, it's just like America is just like it's the land of business, you know. Also, you can own guns here. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm a patriot, man. I love Canada. I'm from Nova Scotia. I love Nova Scotia. I love Canada. I'm very, very patriotic, civic nationalist for Nova Scotia. But at the end of the day, like if I can't build anything here, let alone like start a family, try to have some sort of generational wealth accumulating. If I can't do it, like why would I? The only incentive to stay is that it's some weird patriotic obligation, which is horseshit anyway.
Yeah, I know. I feel the exact same way. I'm from BC, and like I don't really have any reason to stay here, but it's like just sort of like the patriotic Canadian, I guess, being born here.
Yeah, no, like I hate brain drain is such a big issue, especially in like anywhere in Canada. Just goes to Vancouver or Toronto, and then anyone who does good in Toronto goes to New York or LA. Like the brain drain's so bad, but it's bad for a reason. Like you can't build anything here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I assume moving is, you have to live away from your family and shit. They're not all going to move too. That kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want
that's true.
I wouldn't want to move away from my family, which is why I bought a house 20 minutes away from my mom so she can harass me. But yeah, like I just, moving away from your family does suck. I guess Canada to the U.S. isn't that bad. You can still travel to see them, but,
yeah,
just leaving in, the place you grew up in general for opportunity. It's like a pilgrimage type thing. It's like the Mayflower. So beautiful.
Hero's journey.
Yeah.
Find the house is sick. Did you buy a normal house? Did you buy a fucking giant house?
It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, but where I live, that's expensive. So yeah, I live in like a very nice like white no crime area basically, so that's why it's really expensive where I live. And like inventory's low, but I mean it's like a normal family house, I guess you would say. Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Put it on Scuffed Realtor. Can make Nick Rockerford review it.
I wonder how he would feel about it. I don't know. Actually, I don't even want to know. I'm not gonna find out because then I'm gonna be pissed off. So, yeah, I'm not gonna put that. I'm not gonna put it on Scuff Realtor. Bad idea.
Just dox yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Nick, here's my address. Hope you like it. Don't tell anyone else. By the way, are we live? Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thanks for having me on. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thanks for calling in, buddy. Take it easy. Maybe I'll see you at VidCon. Bye-bye.
Go. See you guys.
All right. Call
There we
from Art
go.
Shad. I guess we'll bring in some callers now.
That was a good combo.
I'll take a couple more callers. I'm getting off Fortnite because I've been playing for 4 hours. Good horse. What are we talking about?
By the way, you said that these streams get cut up. Where?
That's a great question. Where
You
do
said
the streams get
streams-
cut up? Well, it used to be on this channel, but now it's on the Tom Dark Live channel, which you can watch, which has new content almost every single day. So I will link it in chat for everybody.
Is that
to
new?
check out.
Okay, is that new? Because I tried to look it up and
We
nothing
s-
came up.
We
I was
started it like 3 weeks ago, a month ago or something. Yeah, it's pretty new.
Oh, okay, so it's new.
If you look up Tom Dark Live
so-
on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm
It's
gonna
like
get off.
magic.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. Ah!